Hello, everybody. We're back at the Advocacy Club at CAOC's annual conference here at the Palace Hotel in San Francisco. I'm Sahm of Life Law. I have fabulous trial attorney Boris Treyzon of Axe Law in Los Angeles, and I believe you practice statewide, if not in other states. So, Boris, the theme of this year's Advocacy Club is to discuss the 20% fee initiative cap that insurance companies are trying to get passed in the 2024 ballot. As a trial lawyer who takes cases from inception of the date of loss all the way through to trial, I'd like you to discuss with the public how a 20% cap is a negative thing for any consumer rather than a positive, where the insurance companies are trying to say that we're capping the fees at 20% for your lawyers. This is a good thing for you. Can you please explain to the public how, in effect, it is a very terrible thing to consumers, preventing them to negotiate with their attorneys the percentage of the attorney's fees that they're entitled to?
Thank you, Sam. Well, people understand that at the end of the day, law is a business. And what nobody is saying is that corporations who are sponsoring this law, the oil companies, the insurance companies, the Chamber of Commerce, they're not proposing that they're limiting the amount of money they spend on defending the cases. What they're proposing is that they make sure that the injured consumers, when they look for lawyers, are not going to be able to get the help they need. And kind of think about it like this. Corporations know that they're going to get sued. Corporations, for them, it's a part of their business. They get sued, they allocate budgets to it. Corporations hire other corporations to defend them. Injured people hire people to defend them. Trial lawyers are those people. People come to us, they tell us a story, and they ask us to go into the arena and take on the biggest, the mightiest companies out there. They have no limitations on their fees. They have no limitations on their political contributions. They have no limitations on the experts that they're going to bring to the battle. If consumers are limited in who they can hire, and they are, because lawyers cannot stay in business at 20%. It's going to be very few cases that are ever going to see the light of day. It's going to be only the cases where there is no question as to the responsibility or liability. So the jury system, which depends on the consumers and members of the public to decide what is right and what is wrong, is essentially going to be hampered. Because if you allow only a 20% contingency cases to go forward, that it's almost impossible to bring forth nothing but the most egregious, the most despicable cases. And the justice system suffers as a result.
So, Boris, let's, as a trial lawyer, explain how, if you understood that you're going to have to take a case to trial despite the fact that your fees are capped, how would it affect your strategy and your decision-making as to whether or not to accept an offer you believe is too low based on your client's damages, but however, understanding that you're not going to get an increase in your fees as a result of going to trial, how it would negatively impact a client's case with your knowledge that the fees are capped, so you're disincentivized to try the case?
So when we look at the case, we also look at what it will cost us to try the case. And for us to try a case, it's almost always nowadays a proposition of us investing hundreds of thousands of dollars. And sometimes it goes above $1 million for a case. The problem comes in if our fees are going to be capped at 20%, we are strongly disincentivized to commit that kind of money. So cases are not going to go to trial because lawyers will be hard-pressed to make a large investment knowing that their fees are essentially halved as a result of this proposition.
Can you please explain to the public how costs are advanced by the plaintiff's firm on behalf of the client and what generally the costs are for at trial? For example, experts and court costs?
Of course. So the most common scenario in which we get is we don't have a billionaire that comes to us and says, I was injured, please help me. Those are not the people we're seeking to protect. The most common scenario is that the people that get hurt and the people that get injured are everyday common working people. They don't have the money to say, hey, hire the best doctors to explain my injury, hire the best scientists to explain what happened to me. What they do have is they come to you and say, hey, I've been injured. I think I've been injured wrongly. Can you please help me? And then we look at the case and we have to explain it by law, using doctors who charge thousands of dollars an hour, using scientists who charge thousands of dollars an hour. We have to create animations that cost tens of thousands of dollars. We have to create scenarios by which we experiment to prove the theories of the case. All of that costs incredible amount of money, and all of that is the money that our client will never be able to repay us, nor do we ask him to repay us if we're not successful. So for us, this is an investment in money, in time, and resources, and the only way we can justify it is under the current system. Under the proposed system, what essentially the insurance companies and corporations are trying to do, they're trying to disincentivize attorneys from taking the cases, leaving them really without any champion on their behalf.
Very eloquently said, Boris. Boris Treyzon of Axe Law, great trial lawyer, great man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sam, for having me.